All right, everyone. Hi. Today we're going to start with a little question for you to think about. So in the question box, I want you to answer, what does heritage mean to you? So consider, what does heritage mean to you? And you can use some of the pictures that I've put up there to help you think about it. Today we're going to be talking about Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So to get started, I would like you to take a guess. In the answer box, tell me, what do you predict? A predict is a guess about the future. What do you predict Asian American Pacific Island Heritage Month is? So just take a guess. What do you predict that it is? So what is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month? Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month is celebrated in the month of May. It was started in 1990 in the United States to celebrate the history, culture, and contributions of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. It celebrates people who are from Asia or whose families are from Asia. Asia is the largest continent and includes 48 countries. The Pacific Islands include 20,000 islands. Some are part of Asia, but some are part of other continents. For example, some are part of Australia or New Zealand, or some are even part of North America, such as Hawaii right here. And they're included in this month because of the native people are called Polynesians. And this is Polynesia, this island group. So Asia and the Pacific Islands are very diverse places. People come from different backgrounds. People look differently. They have different clothing styles, different religions, different languages. So when we speak about Asia, we're talking about a place with many different people from many different backgrounds. So I have a question for you. What is a part of Asian culture that you notice here in the US? So take some time and just think, what is a part of Asian culture? And you can also think of Asian heritage, like we talked about earlier, that you notice here in the US. Here are some things that I notice about Asian culture. For example, I drink tea every morning. Tea is actually from Asia originally, from China. And it was spread around the world. Another thing I notice every day is K-pop. So many young people, so many of my students love K-pop, so I see that all the time. Another thing is food. I see so much food from Asia. This is specifically pho from Vietnam, but I also see a lot of Chinese restaurants. I love sushi from Japan. So I see the food everywhere. Another thing that I notice that particularly students like is anime. I see anime all over the TV, and students love anime. As you can see from the video that we just watched, Asian Americans and immigrants from China were not always treated with respect in the United States. Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month was originally a one-week celebration. In 1978, President Jimmy Carter passed a law that made it into a yearly celebration. In 1990, the celebration was extended to the entire month of May. And we'll finish with this video.
Through family and friends, through compassion and acceptance, we all seek to belong. As Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, we belong to the brave, to the selfless, and the courageous. Our stories help build this country and continue to shape its future. As artists, leaders, innovators, and champions, our voices belong in every place we call home. From our families and communities to our cultures and traditions. We belong here. We belong now. We belong together. Through family and friends.
History. The United States has a long history of people immigrating from parts of Asia. So immigrating means people are coming from other countries to a different country. Asian Pacific Heritage Month is celebrated in May to remember the arrival of the first Japanese immigrants to the United States on May 7, 1843. There is evidence of people coming from Asia earlier than that, but this is the day that they chose to celebrate. The month of May was also selected to show respect for the contributions that Chinese American immigrants made to the Transcontinental Railroad, which was completed on May 10, 1869. We're now going to watch a video that takes a deeper look at this history, and I just want to let you know that this history is not always a happy one.
From restaurants to writers to kung fu flicks, whether you realize it or not, our culture has been shaped by Chinese immigrants, their kids, and their grandkids. I'm Dolly, welcome to AJ Plus. This Sunday, we're going to talk to you about why people left China in the first place and how they ended up here in the US. Chinese people have been coming to the US for more than 150 years to pursue economic opportunities, escape political unrest, and seek higher education. To help make this explanation easier, we're going to break this down into 4 periods. There are over 4 million Chinese people live in the US today. At the beginning, these numbers are pretty small. The first group of immigrants left because of political instability and news of golden jobs in California. Back in the 1850s, the cities up and down the Pearl River Delta, including Guangzhou, were hubs for international trade. Many people in this area left to pursue better opportunities abroad. At the same time, the Taiping Rebellion and the Opium Wars led others to flee poverty and instability. Meanwhile, gold was discovered in California and extra hands were needed to build the Transcontinental Railroad. And these forces kicked off the first wave of Chinese immigration. But what started out as job opportunities in America took an ugly turn: discrimination and violence. White laborers felt like Chinese immigrants were threatening their jobs and took extreme measures to get rid of them. They burnt down Chinatowns, publicly lynched Chinese people, and passed racially targeted laws. This is how we ended up with the Chinese Exclusion Act, the first U.S. law restricting immigration based on race. After the act was passed, the Chinese population started to drop, until World War II. At the start of World War II, Japan
So based on everything that we've talked about today, why do you think we celebrate Asian American Pacific Islander Month? There's no right or wrong answer. This is just your opinion. Why do you think we celebrate Asian American Pacific Islander Month? Go ahead and answer that in the answer box.